6 months ago, I was accidentally poisoned by wolfsbane. The poison is deadly, and my days are numbered. My body gradually weakens. Today, my wolf is completely gone, and I have 3 days left to live. On the last day before I draw my final breath, I agree to donate my kidney to my sister. Thrilled, my mate swears that he'll make it up to me someday. My sister is being swamped with insults on the college forum after she was caught plagiarizing my belladonna thesis. But I come forward and claim that I'm the one who plagiarized it. Mom and dad are pleased, saying I've finally become mature. At last, I've become the perfect mate and daughter in their eyes. But why are they crying after my body has turned cold and lifeless? When I found out I was going to die, I accepted it with ease. My mate, Simon Knightley, came to me with a sullen expression and said, Zora, Layla has been in poor health since birth. She's an omega with the weakest healing ability. One of her kidneys is failing, and she needs a transplant to survive. He pulled out a mate bond breaking agreement to dissolve our mate bond. After hesitating for a long while, he gritted his teeth and said, Your kidney is the best match for Layla, but if you refuse to donate your kidney, you'll have to sign this agreement to break our mate bond. Layla doesn't have much time left, and she wants to experience the marking ceremony before she dies. After talking to your parents, they agreed that I should be the one to do it. I love you, Zora. We're only doing this to make sure Layla doesn't die with regrets. Once she's gone, we'll get back together, okay? I stared at the agreement in Simon's hands. Ever since Layla Thorne's kidney failure, everyone in my family had been expecting me to donate my kidney to her. But what they didn't know was, I only had one kidney left. When they found out I refused to donate, they were utterly disappointed. They kept saying how ungrateful I was. Zora, your sister's dying. All she needs is your kidney to survive. How can you just stand by and watch her die? My parents wouldn't listen to my explanation. Instead, they kicked me out. An ingrate like you doesn't deserve to be part of this family. If you won't save Layla, then get out. And now, even my mate was forcing me to either donate the kidney or he'd mark Layla instead, but I was dying anyway. At this point, what difference would it make? I agree, I said airily. Stunned, Simon jerked his head up. Really? That's amazing. Layla has a chance now. He tore the agreement and hurried me to the healing hut. Mom and Dad also received the news. They arrived soon after, and Mom threw her arms around Layla and wept. Layla, you have a chance now. You'll be able to stay with me forever. Afraid that I'd change my mind, Dad quickly had the healer bring over the surgical consent form. Once I signed it, my parents finally relaxed. Zora, you finally matured, Dad said. You're starting to care for your sister. Don't blame us for being biased, okay? Layla's been through so much. She needs our love. But we won't mistreat you either. You'll still get your part of the inheritance. I shook my head, swallowing the bitterness in my chest. Just give it all to Layla. I won't need it anyway. Momentarily stunned, Mom patted me and chided. What nonsense are you talking about? Of course you'll need it. Even if your mate is the top warrior in the Lunaris pack and can give you a comfortable life, you can't just disregard your family inheritance. Slowly, I slipped into a daze. Ever since I failed to show up for Dad's kidney transplant surgery 5 years ago, and Layla donated hers instead, my family hadn't been this kind to me, and it was precisely because she had saved Dad that my parents insisted I owed her and that I had to treat her even better. From then on, Layla got the best of everything. She also started targeting me by falsely accusing me, making Mom and Dad resent me even more. Eventually, no matter what I did, it was always wrong. I used to defend myself. Now, I just stayed quiet. Then Mom rushed to Layla's side and Dad and Simon followed close behind. They all surrounded her, and it was the perfect picture of a loving family. Only I stood alone in the corner, like an outsider who didn't belong. My eyes stung. Rubbing my eyes roughly, I turned to leave, but Simon stopped me at the door. Layla has to stay at the healing hut for treatment, and she won't be able to finish her Werewolf Academy thesis, he said. Aren't you working on the belladonna cure thesis? It's exactly the same as Layla's. Why not let her refer to yours? A pang of bitterness hit me. I knew there was more to his words. Layla's health had always been fragile, so I had always done her Werewolf Academy homework for her. She had even asked me to cheat for her in exams. She didn't want my grades to surpass hers, yet through plagiarizing my work, she became the top student in the Werewolf Academy. In truth, she hadn't even started her thesis yet. She was just waiting to copy mine. Noticing my silence, Mom spoke in a low voice. You know how bright Layla is? It's just her health. You're her sister. Help her out, okay? I had heard this over and over again for the past 5 years, and I should have been used to it by now. But every time those words echoed in my ears, my chest tightened. I forced a smile and nodded. All right, I'll go get it now. This was the last time. I wondered if Layla could still graduate smoothly without someone to plagiarize from after I was gone. I knew you'd say yes, Simon exclaimed. So when I left home, I brought your thesis with me. He quickly pulled it from his bag and handed it to Layla. Layla stuck her tongue out at me, a smug smile on her face. Gently stroking her hair, Simon bent down and whispered something in her ear. She flushed and shot him a glare. I said nothing and watched their intimate interaction. If my wolf hadn't been killed by wolfsbane, it would have been howling with rage inside me. I turned and left the healing hut. Laughter echoed behind me, but no one stopped me this time. Perhaps they hadn't even noticed I had left. I went back home. As I gazed at the cozy interior, I suddenly made up my mind. I wanted to clear all my belongings. Since no one seemed to care about me at all, I'd just discard everything about myself. After all, I didn't want my things to be a burden. I packed everything, including my clothes, daily necessities, my pictures, the gifts I'd bought for my family and Simon, and threw them in the trash outside. I was completely exhausted and my breathing grew labored. The wolfsbane had taken hold of my body, and with every movement, a wave of excruciating pain shot through me. I was really dying. It took hours before I regained some strength. Just as I got into bed and was about to sleep, Simon barged in. Flanking a crying Layla, Mom and Dad hurried after him. Zora, you promised to give Layla your thesis. How could you collude with others and accuse your sister of plagiarism? Simon questioned, his eyes thick with disappointment. Zora, I understand that you're upset about me borrowing your thesis, Layla sobbed. But how could you ask your supervisor to publicly criticize me online? I've been swarmed with insults. You're so cruel. Zora, we're family. How could you do this to your sister? Mom chimed in disapprovingly. Turning back to Layla, Mom patted her back gently and cooed. Don't cry, sweetheart. You'll hurt yourself. I'll make your sister apologize to you.